I want to ask you all a question. Listen up really closely, right? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I've been asked this question many times recently, and truly it's one that's left me stumped because when I was growing up, I learned from a mentor of mine back on the day, Chronicles of Judah 144, if y'all know. He would mention how being an introvert, being an extrovert is really a spectrum. And it wasn't until I got older that I really understood this. It wasn't until recently, actually. And I learned about this maybe about almost 8 years ago now, 7 years ago. And I would honestly say that I have moments of being an extrovert, but truly on the inside, I'm an introvert. And I wouldn't even label myself that. If I were to give a percentage, I would say 65 to 70% introverted, 30 to 35% extroverted, honestly. And the reason I say this is because I find myself craving moments like this, where I'm sitting in the park, where I'm sitting alone, thinking, pondering, expressing. I find myself in places that are going to recharge me. The beach, feeling the wind push against me, push against my luscious curls, feeling the wind blow the hair into my face, which, if you had long hair, it's super annoying. But really feeling the wind, watching the waves clash, and just hearing the water move, just looking at it. Because I usually go at night, looking at the reflection, looking at the moon, looking at the night sky, and feeling the cold air. It's just such a unexplainable feeling that brings me calmness. Another moment of solitude I constantly crave is my Sunday morning coffee with my good friend. That coffee is a representation of the warmness and comfort that I seek in my day to day life. But on every Sunday, I allow myself to get this coffee, this horchata latte from Terra Mia, if you know, you know, and just taste the warmness and just feel the comfort inside my soul because I really do love coffee. And it's not because of the energy boost, it's not because it's my sensu bean, if I'm being honest with you. It's because of what it creates for me. It creates a moment of stillness. It creates a moment of of deep breath where I'm able to relax and enjoy and be present in the moment. So as I open the video with, are you introverted? Are you extroverted? I hope I gave you some insight and time to think about it, right? Today's video is going to be about carving out moments of solitude, carving out moments for yourself to think, to ponder, to express yourself through writing, through journaling, through content creating, through different avenues. I want to ask you, where do you express yourself at? Do you even take time for yourself? Every day I have sacred moments where I don't like people to disrupt. My lunchtime coffee with my brother, that's a moment that I look forward to even after lunchtime. It's a moment that every day I know at 12 noon, I better have that motherfucking coffee and sit down and stay grounded in that moment to read scripture, to go over journaling, to post threads. I better have that moment. If not, I'm going to have to find a way to create that moment in my day, because I will seek it out, because that is a way that I am recharged. Because when you're dealing with the ambition and the drive that I have, and I'm sure many of you have, you have so much energy that you need to put out in a day to feel accomplished, or you'll lose your fucking mind. And in those moments of solitude where I'm seeking clarity, because I'm always thinking, I'm always creating, I'm always thinking of new ideas, thinking of new things to talk about, thinking of different ways to seek pain, which is really to grow. I have to create moments where I find clarity. And it's always in times like this, when I'm by myself, when I'm focused on the task in front of me, when I am allowed to breathe and slow down time and catch the rhythm of the day and look around me and observe my surroundings. For me, it's that lunchtime coffee. It's when I get home at about 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I know that I have to be asleep in an hour at 9 a.m. to wake up at 4 a.m., right? To enjoy eating dinner, whether it's a steak, whether it's chicken, whether it's a bowl of berries with Kefir milk right now, that's kind of like a thing, or an almond butter sandwich. Those moments where it's just me and I get to sit down and enjoy my food and enjoy the slowness, the feeling of no rush, which is which leads me to another point. Are you always in a rush? Are you someone who's always in a rush? You know, when I was a kid, there was this saying in Spanish: toma tu tiempo, take your time. No llevamos prisa. We're not in a rush. And it's funny that I talk about that, because that happened today during um, when I was leaving work. I was talking to one of my coworkers. He's a janitor there, and he talks about how he loves to go in at noon and leave work at 9. And I asked him why. Like, I'd rather get work out of the way early so I could go spend time doing whatever I do in the afternoons or in the evenings, you know? And he said, because I'm able to wake up with no prisa, with no rush. I'm able to take my time. I'm able to do things in the morning and watch people go to work in traffic. It's like I don't have that problem. I get here when there's no traffic. I leave when there's no traffic. I get to take my time. There's no rush for me to get to work late. There's no rush for me to wake up. I don't have to roll over and force myself out of bed. No tengo prisa. And that's such a beautiful thing to have, is moments of solitude, moments where you're able to slow down time. And as I find myself to be more social, which is going to be another video, take time to be social, I find myself wanting to retreat in solitude more and more, because I realize how precious my energy is. I realize how precious my time is. I realize that I'd much rather express myself here to you guys, to myself, to my journal, than speak my mind out to the open world. To be quite frank, I'm not somebody who's the average person. I have multiple different perspectives. I have a different drive than the average person. Yet I still love the average person, because in the small things I am able to into them, relate to them. I'm able to taste a little bit of what it's like to be normal, quote unquote normal. for just a second, for just a day, and it allows me another perspective into what people think. I was blessed with a mind that seeks ownership, that wants to conquer, a soul that has a fire inside of it, a consuming fire, a rage even to conquer. So to understand what the quote unquote normal person thinks, and this is not a boast or to make myself seem better than anybody, no. But this is to separate myself, right? It allows me to taste that just a little bit. Because everybody has their own perspectives, their own insights, their own standpoints. But most people have been a prison of society, a prison of their family standards, a prisoner, sorry, to this world around us. I've been blessed to not experience that, to be a prisoner of society. Even when I was a teenager, I understood I wanted to be different. I didn't want to do college. I didn't want to go the normal career route. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I dedicated my life to God at 16. And those who truly, truly follow the Bible know that the word says the path is narrow. So that means very few people are going to understand who you truly are and are going to relate to your plight, right? And that's the life that the Most High gave me. He put me on the narrow path. And I say all this to say this. Find your moments of solitude. Find where you recharge. Find those moments where you're able to express yourself, where you're able to be yourself, where you're able to think. Where you're able to think. With AI coming around, we're losing the ability to critically think. AI is a great tool to learn and to expound on sources, but we're eventually going to lose the soul of creativity. So we're in a time period where it's more important than ever to truly discover who you are, because you're eventually going to be walking in a world full of actual NPCs. All right? We already walk with NPCs and zombies, but these are going to be people who are programmed by artificial intelligence, that all they've known is artificial intelligence, who have only learned from artificial intelligence. You know how crazy that is, right? Do you know how crazy it is going to be that every content creator on YouTube may or may not be real, and the only thing that is going to distinguish you is if you actually keep your soul intact? You're going to have to fight for your soul. You're going to have to fight to protect who you are, because everyone is going to be infected by AI in one way or another, if they allow themselves to be, which most people will, just like we did with the internet, just like we did with technology. This is the reality that we're coming into. People who write, it's a rare thing now. People who read, even rarer thing. You know, there's a saying that says, if you want to hide anything from anybody, just put it in a book. It's true. I don't know many people that read. I don't know many people that write. I don't know many people that journal. I don't know many people who look to discover who they truly are. And you could only do this in moments of solitude, moments of reflection, because that's what solitude inspires, is reflection. It inspires you to hold the mirror up to yourself and ask you who you are. Where am I fucking up? Where do I need to make adjustments in my game? What do I really want in my life? Why do I want it? Who shaped me into who I am today? Am I content? Am I at peace? Who am I allowing to fuck up my life? What am I allowing to fuck up my life? You could only have that in solitude. And this is how I figured on the spectrum of introversion and extroversion that I lean towards introversion because in solitude is when I'm my best. I prefer sports that are alone, boxing, basketball, especially basketball. Just the art and beauty to be able to shoot alone and practice on your craft, practice your skills, your form, and make it beautiful. The gym, where you're able to work out by yourself, lift weights by yourself, test yourself in this controlled environment of war. It's just you versus you. It's just you versus you, seeing if you're gonna fucking fold under that bar of metal, that bar of iron that you're pushing up. Nobody's watching you. Are you gonna push yourself and actually lift to the best that you can, knowing that bar could at any moment fall on your fucking face and crush you? Or are you gonna be a bitch and just always resort to mediocrity? And the reason I say that is because I've done that shit before. I now embrace training toward failure. The gym is not physical training. The gym is mental training. As ChatGPT, Slavebot, as we call it, likes to say, mental training battleground. That's what the gym is. For me, it's war against myself. Can I have dominion over my own body? Can I control myself? Not just in nutrition, not just in nutrition, but can I make myself feel pain? You could only do this in solitude when you're by yourself. When you're by yourself, it's when everything that you boast to other people, oh, well, I'm disciplined. Oh, well, I'm this. Is it true? Is it true? I'm who I am when I'm by myself and when I'm with other people. Nothing really changes. Maybe just a level of expression. I'm much more calm and reserved, oftentimes. This here is a outlet for me to express myself. It's better to use discretion and discernment, and I love to share my insights and perspectives to those who are willing to listen to them. So I leave you with this final question, right? How many moments of solitude do you actually have throughout your day? I'm gonna give you guys three. I'm gonna give you guys three. Every morning when I wake up, from 4 a.m. to 6:30, that's me time. Me time, straight up. Shower, read, pray, gym, go to work. Lunchtime, 12 to 1. More me time. Yes, I share it with my brother, but it's just us two and the word, or it's just him across me with my AirPods in, journaling threads, whatever, whatever, editing videos. And every night when I get to eat my dinner, because I don't eat till late, 3 moments. And I'm honestly starting to crave more, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm being honest with you, I'm starting to crave more. That's it for today. I will make a follow-up to this video, but we're going to talk about expressions of social interaction and how you still need that, even if you're introverted and reserved. Because people that are introverted, like I am for the most part, you could get too stuck in your head. So it is very important to express yourself socially, because you don't want to be someone who has all this drive, this fire built up inside of you, but when it comes time to express it in person, to stand 10 toes down for who you are, you fold up because you're not used to it. It's not because you're not who you say you are, but because you're not used to it. I leave y'all with that. Put down in the comments below your 3 moments of solitude. If you don't have three, at least tell me one. And if you don't have one, figure out why. Peace.